Hey everybody, welcome back to the show, the one and only JamesRuleXRP. And I tell you what, I'm really excited today because I have a developer that's building on top of the XRP ledger. There's a new amendment that's going to be announced, a new service that's going to be announced, talking about your XRP wallet, and it's time to get excited. I want to introduce to you Chris Dangerfield. Chris, welcome to the show, brother.
Thanks for having me back, James.
Man, I'm really excited to have you because we've been chatting for the past couple of weeks and we've been kind of keeping it undisclosure. You really hadn't been you've been getting the breadcrumbs to me, but you finally introduced something yesterday, and let's go ahead and get into it. Tell me what you're doing.
Right. Well, myself and Dennis Angel, who's XRPL core developer, we are essentially providing a solution to, in my opinion, one of the scourges of our entire space, which is the theft of your crypto, right? We all know the horror stories and we all know the realities of what the world is like. There are plenty of people out there that are just looking to find a way to get your private key and to take all the money from you. And there are plenty of people out there that has happened to, and you may be watching and you may even be one of them. It's a horrible thing. So if you imagine yourself waking up one morning and you check your wallet and suddenly all your XRP is gone, what on earth do you do? Because the truth is there's not really anything you can do. That's sort of like, that's the only real significant downside to self-custody. You know, we all know self-custody has significant benefits to us as individuals, be your own bank and all those kind of things. But with that comes the actual stark reality that if you become ultimately responsible, and you can be as savvy as you want, you can be as careful as you want, but there is always that chance that somehow, whether it's through an exploit in a device, a software update, or you may get socially engineered, or you may even just end up, being in a situation where you're unfortunate with some of your friends. You could have those private keys taken from you in a number of ways. Nobody's infallible. And ultimately, we're going to provide a technical solution to that problem, such that if you are unlucky in the future and you do end up getting compromised, that you can lose your private key, as in someone can take it from you and they cannot take your XRP. Your XRP is secured. And the key thing with all of this is, and I really want to make this point, this is not some bit of software that we're writing and you sort of like use on your machine. It's nothing like that. This is an actual XRP Ledger mainnet proposal for a change directly to the XRP protocol. Okay, like when the NFT standard was introduced to the XRP Ledger, or we recently had the DID proposal go onto the ledger. This is essentially another thing like that. It's a piece of functionality that the ledger has, and it will be the ledger itself that is protecting you and your assets. What we are really doing is we're the developers that have come up with the innovation, and we will be the guys that actually build it and put it up for a vote. And assuming then that vote goes through and it makes it onto the mainnet, we then will be providing a service that you can subscribe to, which essentially will just make using it really easy. And the goal is to make it so simple that the firewall is there protecting you in the background. You barely even notice it. But if that day comes when you need it, like any insurance policy, you'll be damn glad that you enabled the firewall and that you didn't just lose all your XRP.
It's really exciting because since I've had my channel, since I've been on Twitter/X for the past 4 years, I've had hundreds of individuals telling me that their wallet's been compromised. They fell for a YouTube scam or a social media scam, and they shared their seed phrases with a fake ledger wallet provider, and they lost all their crypto like 5 minutes later. And it's sad because thousands upon thousands, if not millions of dollars have been lost because of that. And
it's not millions, it's hundreds of millions.
Hundreds of millions.
I mean, we all know the one very famous person that lost hundreds of millions of XRP, don't we? So, and today that's worth 3 times what it was. So, you know, unfortunately, it just goes to show nobody is infallible. However it happens, it doesn't matter. If someone gets those keys, you are going to be compromised, and it doesn't matter if you've literally got 500 XRP or 500 million XRP. Ultimately, the end result is the same. Someone's going to take it from you if they can. And you know, part of why we're doing this is driven. Obviously, we're developers. We like to build cool stuff, but equally, I've seen firsthand how this can affect people, and I just want to put a real face on this for people. I mean, I know most people watching will recognize that this is clearly an issue that would be great to have a solution for, but just to put a real face on this, and I know that she won't mind me sharing this. We were on a space. It was, I don't know, a few months or so ago, and Dennis and I had been talking about this for a while. And we were just having a normal chat, you know, the usual X space stuff. And this lady comes on, and she's like, I've just checked my wallet and all my XRP's gone, and I don't understand. And she was getting really upset, and there's a bunch of people trying to calm down. And have you checked the transaction hashes? And she's like, well, I don't really understand what you know, all this kind of stuff. Anyway, this lady was from the UK, which is where I am, and I kind of felt compelled to help her. So I jumped off the space, and I DM'd her, and I ended up giving her a phone call. So I called her up, and this lady is in her mid to late 70s, right? She has she's heard about XRP, as we all have, sees the potential for it, and she's been putting little bits of money in every month, you know, like dollar cost average, which we all say is the way to go. She's been doing that, following all the advice. She said, I've got my secret key in a safe place, and I've done everything everybody's ever told me. And I don't understand how this has happened to me. And I'm like, so I went on, checked her wallet. Yep, saw it, saw where the transaction had gone and all that kind of stuff. And I instantly reported it as well to Thomas from the foundation. And he did some things to try and help her. But ultimately, the bottom line was that she had been socially engineered, and she had, over a period of time, basically fallen foul of the one of the common things, which is somebody from Ledger gets on a call, and through whatever way they do it, they engineer it so that they get hold of your secret key, and then boom, suddenly the phone goes down, and then literally a matter of seconds later, all the XRP is gone. And so, like, I felt so sorry for this lady. I mean, she was doing this because she wanted to give this XRP to her grandkids.
Wow.
Like an inheritance type of thing, you know.
That's sad. I mean, I've been on the phone with members of the community that were in tears. The husband, the wife were both crying, and I was in tears. I was like,
it's horrible.
You know, it's a lesson learned, but daggone, when you're looking at $10,000, $50,000, $100,000 gone just like that, and no way to recover it, it's horrible. And if you're a newbie out there and you're watching this video and you don't know how to send crypto to another wallet or whatever, do your research first. Make sure you do your research, because we've been in this for a while. We know exactly how to do it. And don't get in a hurry, because when this market starts to go past the moon, you're going to be in a hurry trying to self-custody. You're going to be in a hurry trying to buy and sell crypto. You have to take your time. You have to slow down. You have to be smart. So I'm sorry, I had to put those 2 cents in. Keep going.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, and the worst part about it is there is never a time when we needed this more. We are about to go through a period of time when the scams they're already started. They're going through the roof now. The number I see on a daily basis is going up like significantly now. It's only going to get worse. And the higher that XRP price goes, the bigger the pot there is for these people that want to try and scam you. So I only wish we could get this on the ledger faster, but we are where we are. The reality is that the proposal is written. We can build this thing. We can get it live. It's going to take some time, but the more community support we get, the faster we can get this thing sort of like pushed forward, and hopefully the more momentum we will have to actually, you know, get the validators when it goes to vote to understand that there's real value to the average holder in having this live. So that's the purpose of the website. I'm sure you'll flash it up at some point. And
right here in the chat. This is pre-recorded, but In the chat, you're going to see the link, and this is going to be the way to get the community involved. You click on the link, you sign up, and I guess is there going to be like a newsletter or something, or you just pretty much?
Yeah, I'll cover that. I'll cover that quickly then, because basically what we're doing is, like I said, we like to build cool stuff, but we want to build cool stuff that is useful, that people are going to use, right?
Absolutely.
So before we spend months, and I mean literal, it could take 6 months or a year to get to a point where this thing is even ready to go to a vote. The truth is, it's impossible for anybody to say how long an amendment would take to go from a proposal to an actual vote situation. So it's many months worth of work. And the last thing anybody wants to do is go and do a whole bunch of work for free on the basis that you hope people are going to use it when it goes live. And so what we're trying to do is just gauge interest. I mean, I believe that I would absolutely use it. Dennis would use it. Everybody I've spoken to so far thinks it's great. But ultimately, we're not building this for a few hundred people. We're building for everybody. And if you hold XRP of any real significant amount, we're building it for you. And we would want you to be able to use it. So what we want to know is if you will. Is if we build this thing, it's like, if we build it, will you come? Right.
Now, I have a question, and I've gotten a few questions from the community. Once the system's put into place, are you guys going to have access to our XRP wallets?
No.
Okay.
No, absolutely not.
Somebody asked that. Are you going to be able, if you're putting this on the ledger, are you going to have access to our stuff? And I knew that there's no way.
Well, let me clarify that then, because it's obviously a really important one, and it's good that people would want to ask that question, because you should. I mean, the whole point of this is about security, right? This is built as a tool to aid in self-custody. The goal is that you continue to remain in control of your funds. This is in no way custody. You remain in full control. Essentially, what this is first of all, it's optional, right? You don't have to use this. It's going to go on to the ledger, but you ultimately, you as the holder, have to go in and set it up. You have to turn it on, right? All we're really doing once it's on the ledger is providing you with a really easy way to do that and an easy way to manage it going forward. So you go in, and let's just keep it really simple. There's a nice UI you can go on to. You press a couple of little buttons, and then you sign a transaction in a very similar way to how you might send a payment or mint an NFT or something, right? So you swipe right, do your thing, and suddenly that enables the firewall, right? When you set the firewall up, there will be a couple of questions you have to answer. Very simple. One of them is going to be, we want the address of a backup account that is essentially a clean account, right? That you would probably want to create separately. You absolutely would want to be keeping that private key totally separate, right, from however you keep your other key. It's the kind of thing that it's like your fail safe. You would hope that you're never ever going to need that account, right? So if you hold any significant XRP, a good profile would be your backup account goes on a metal plate and it gets stored in a safe deposit box in a bank, and you just stick it there, and hopefully you're never gonna ever need it, right? But if you find yourself in a situation where you're compromised, what you would do is you are able to move your XRP to that backup account, right? And even though the attacker has got your private key, they cannot stop you from doing that, and they cannot send it anywhere that you haven't expressed.
Wow, that is incredible.
Said in advance, right? So you set the backup account, and you also have to set essentially a second level of security, another private key. It's a public-private key pair, right? I won't get too technical. But the best way to think of it is, it's like having a second key, and this second key then gets added to the firewall, right? The key in no way gives the holder of that key any control of your account. You can't send payments, you can't do any kind of transactions. The only thing the key is used for is to essentially countersign changes that you might want to make to your firewall settings. So once you enable it, essentially what you're doing is you're almost locking your wallet. You're saying, if you literally just set it up and didn't put any values in anywhere, what you've done is essentially hard locked your wallet. No money can go out anywhere, right? You need to sort of like make the configurational changes to manage it how you want to use it, right? So what this key does is let's just say that you wanted to go in and maybe you change your exchange and you now want to move money to Binance as opposed to using, Kraken, right? So we all know that you're going to need to obviously whitelist the account that you're going to send it to. So you would obviously want to make a change to your firewall. Now, this is the important thing, right? The second private key that we're talking about will either be managed by us as a service, or because this is protocol level stuff, you could technically manage it yourself. But of course, now you're essentially becoming responsible for both sides of the thing. And the idea is to spread your risk, really. Now, bearing in mind that private key doesn't do anything. You can't use it to send money from your account. I can't even make changes to your firewall settings. All I am doing is essentially countersigning your settings. And we have a whole layer of security wrapped around that change. So if the attacker gets your private key, they can try and change your firewall, but the transaction will fail. They could try and put their address in the whitelist and send all the money to it, but it would fail. They would never be able to add their list add their account in the first place, which means they can try all day long, but they're just going to continue to get failure after failure after failure, and eventually they're going to catch on, and they're going to be like, we've just got another private key, but oh shit, it's got firewall enabled. Throw that one in the bin. Move on to the next one, because there's nothing they're going to be able to do to get your money out of the account once you've enabled the firewall. And as long as you've got good hygiene with your normal security sort of practices. So yeah, the private key, I suppose I should cut to the chase. This second private key gives no control over your account. All it is like having a second signature on a check to say, I authorize that this change is legitimate. And that's part of the service that we would provide as an option for you to have if you wanted an easy solution. So those are the two really important mechanical parts about setting this thing up, right? But literally, if you think about it from a user experience, you'll log into this website, and obviously once you've added your accounts and you've got all your addresses in and stuff, you click a button that says enable, and it says, okay, you want to enable firewall, great. What's your backup account? And we go through a little simple process where that's added in, verified, and make sure it's all correct. And then, okay, right, are you using our managed service? Which in that scenario would be a yes. You tick a box, and then you would press a button and boom, firewall is enabled. It literally will be as simple as 1, 2, press go, done, right? Now, you may then say, right, okay, well, I actually want to use my XRP because I'm going to sell some, I want to now send it to an exchange. I want to sell some, or maybe you want to go and, I don't know, buy a cap like what you've got on, right? And you're going to spend 20 XRP and buy a cap from someone, and they want to be paid in XRP, right? So how does it work day to day? Once you've enabled the firewall and you've got this level of protection, what we don't want to do is make it so damn difficult for you to use that you don't end up using it, because the only reason we're building this thing is to protect people. And if ultimately it's too complicated to use, no one will use it. So sort of defeats the object of building it.
Right.
So day-to-day use, right? The first thing to say is that I keep saying I should say we won't tell you how you should run your life. Our goal is to provide you with essentially the tools so you make the decisions, and the system is flexible enough for you to set it up however you want. No one knows your habits better than you do, right? So unlike a bank where they will just say, oh, we've just put like a $30 or $300 limit on your account every day, we won't do that. We'll let you choose, right? You might be a trader, and you might be sending money in and out of your account all the time. The last thing you want to do is have to keep jumping through hoops. So you might want to have your settings very different to somebody that literally uses their XRP maybe once or twice a month just to sign up for a subscription for something, or maybe buy a cap or whatever. So you would go in and you say, right, you can do one or two things. Let's do the easy one. I want to be able to send money to Binance, right? And I want to be able to do it in a way that is not going to be intrusive for me at all. So you log into the site, through the various levels of security and the two-factor authentication and all that sort of stuff that you'll have to go through. And then you'll be on like your sort of like admin page, and it'll be, I want to add a new account to my firewall. So you'll click add, you'll put Binance's R address in, and of course you're also going to want to put the destination tag for your account as well, right? And then you hit go, and then you'll have to sign a transaction. And then behind the scenes, we are going to know that you've authenticated, we know who you are, and you've gone through all of our security. And now essentially your request gets countersigned, right? And then gets submitted to the ledger. The change is now made. And now you, as the holder, you can continue, send however much XRP you want to Binance without restriction. Essentially, the whitelist is exactly that. It's sort of like saying none of the rules I can apply will apply to this particular single address. Okay? That's an easy way and a very kind of like rudimentary way to use this. You know, there's a list of 6 accounts I can send to. And if I try and send to anybody else, it's just going to fail flat. Right.
Can you protect more than one XRP wallet with this service?
Yeah, I mean, our goal is going to be that you would log into our system, add all of your accounts.
Wow. Okay.
So ultimately, there is going to end up being a fee if you use our service, although we're going to try and keep that as reasonable as we can to make sure that it's accessible for everybody. But ultimately, the goal is if you've got 10 accounts, we're going to charge you 10 times. You have one account for one person, and then you put all of your accounts in, and there's no risk in doing that because all of the changes go on each individual account at the protocol level, right? So the changes to your firewall are on an account basis. So technically, you could have different rules for different accounts. So you could have you could put 90% of your holdings in one wallet and then have it on the firewall and lock it down solid. So nothing is
no access, no ins or outs.
Yeah, it's essentially just locked, right? And then you could have almost like a hot wallet type thing. And I know I want some XRP because I want to be able to use it, right? So I'll have 10% of my XRP in another wallet, and I'll set the firewall, I'll have it on, but I want to make my life easy. I don't want to have to keep logging in every day and put somebody in a whitelist. So I'm going to say, I'm happy that 100 XRP can leave my account over any period of time I want to specify. I might want to say 24 hours. I might want to say 7 days. It's entirely up to me as the user, or I should say to you as the user, to define how you want to do it. So you say, I want no more than 100 XRP to leave my account in the 24-hour period. And let's say you want to go and you want to buy that cap and it's 20 XRP. Well, you can go and buy it and the firewall will not get in the way. And you can continue to use whatever wallet you use. You don't have to change wallets. So if you're using Zaman, stick with Zaman. Maybe you Crossmark, Ledger, whatever wallet you're using, you continue to use that wallet, right? And so you've now essentially got 80 XRP left of your daily limit, right? No different to how most bank accounts work, okay? Now you decide you're going to buy a cap for your mom and other family members, and you go back 12 hours later and you buy another 4, right? So now you've basically spent your limit. You've got to the 100, right? Actually, let's do 3. So you bought 3. You've now spent overall, you spent 80 XRP in that period of time. You've now got 20 XRP left on your limit, right? Then you get compromised. Someone gets your key. The maximum they can do is send 20 XRP to their own wallet, because technically that limit allows you to bypass the firewall rule, because we don't want this to be so cumbersome and complex that you don't want to use it, right? So you've got to be, the part of our service will be to guide you through making wise decisions. So don't go and set your firewall up to have like 50% of your balance available to set on any one day. That would be a crazy thing to do, right? So you choose limits that are appropriate to your usage. And of course, with any security product, it's always a matter of a balance between, your tolerance for a little bit of inconvenience versus the amount of protection that it will give you. And that scale is different for everybody depending on their own sort of usage of the ledger. So let's just say you have that happen. An attacker gets hold of your key. As you know, they can use any wallet then and stick the key in, and then boom, they're probably going to try and send the whole balance. Then it's going to fail. And they might try and, what's going on? Well, let's send 50 as a test. That's going to fail too, right? At some point, they're going to get to the point where they go, well, let's try 20, and 20 might go through, right? And then they go, oh, it's worked. Let's do another one. No, that's not going to work. You've literally hit the limit. Now, part of our service, that this can't happen on protocol because the ledger doesn't send you an email, right? It doesn't work like that. So we will essentially be running a service which is monitoring your account. So every single ledger that closes, we're monitoring it to see whether your account was in that ledger. And if anything happens on your account, we will know about it. And we will be in the protocol embedding various things which we will be monitoring for. And when your account is sort of like flagged by our system as a potential compromise, right, we will tell you. Okay, you'll obviously have to register an email address with us, and we will tell you. And we're still working out some of the business of deals about how we will, do that. But we could send you an email. We might have a tier where you could have a text message. Maybe in the future we'll build our own app, and you'll get push notifications coming through. Or maybe you've got an absolute ton of XRP and you would really want someone to phone you. These are the things which we will work out as we progress in the overall development of the system. But the principle is that if your account is flagged by our system as a potential compromise, you will be told. Now, the attacker's now got your key, but the protocol will prevent the attacker from locking you out of your account, which is, generally speaking, the first thing any attacker is going to do once they get your key is essentially lock you out. And they do that by disabling that. Well, they rekey the account, get their own access to it, and then disable the master key, which is what you'd probably be using, and kick you out of the account, right? Now, all you can do is stand by and watch as they drain all your assets, all your XRP gone, right? So the protocol, when enabled, will prevent disabling of the master key, which will basically stop them from locking you out. What that means now is that you can go in and you can still continue to use your account, right? They can't stop you. So you can go in and send money. Now, hang on, you've got this backup account, right? Why would an attacker want to send all your money to another account that you've got, and you've got good hygiene and you've got the key separate, and so they're just going to move your money from one account of yours to another account of yours, right? You, however, will go in and you will be able to move the money to that account, and now you know that that is safe. And then, of course, you will do what you're going to do, move your XRP back round, re-enable the firewall and another brand new account, right? And be just grateful that you had it in the first place. Or, you might just think, well, screw it, I'll just send it all to Binance because it's in my whitelist already. And I suppose it's possible that an attacker might decide to just, well, I'll move it all to Binance then. But at the end of the day, moving all your money to an exchange that's ultimately in your care, again, as you're using good hygiene for all of your security, which you should be doing, there's no real significant damage done. Your account, your XRP is still your XRP. You just need to go and move it back wherever you're going to have it. So that essentially is the principle. And at the protocol level, we stop any movement of XRP value from your account. So this doesn't just stop an attacker from sending a payment from A to B. We've really tried to think about ways in which attackers can compromise your account. So for a start, one thing an attacker could do is delete your account. Because when you delete an account, there's an option to say where you want the balance sent.
Yep.
Yeah. When the firewall is enabled, you cannot delete the account. So they can't use that as an exploit, right? If you ever want to delete your account, you first have to disable the firewall. And once you've disabled the firewall, you could then delete the account and it would work as normal, right? Other things like, well, I've got this XRP and someone's going to try and compromise it. So how about we just make an NFT and sell it for 100,000 XRP for this NFT? Yeah, that's another way you'd think that someone could take your money, is to buy something of theirs, which is just worthless, right? That won't work either. So it's not just a case of protecting payments. We stop value transfer, right? Very, very deep inside the protocol. So if you attempt to, go on the DEX and you want to try and, buy some random coin that someone creates specifically to drain your account, we'll stop it, right? The only way a transaction is going to move is if that address that it's ultimately going to go to is in your whitelist.
Gotcha.
So as long as you are very careful about, what you're putting in your whitelist, and and of course, when you use our service, our service is there to not only make your life easy, but also to add a layer of like that common sense person sitting on your shoulder going, hang on, you really shouldn't be doing that. It might be a little bit annoying when you say, I want to put this whitelist in, and we go, are you sure? But that little check just to say, are you sure you want to put this in your whitelist? Have you know who it is?
Yep.
Okay, press the button. It's your money. You set it however you want. But we've told you you're setting up essentially a specific hole in your firewall now to send money out to that account. So
those makes you think. It makes you think that, if it's an unknown wallet, why would you put that in your wallet? I mean,
exactly. So we just want to make sure. And of course, the other thing is like wallets like Zaman now have got a little bit more intelligence behind them in the back end, and they actually know the addresses of all the exchanges. So you notice when you send something to an exchange, a lot of the time
pops up. Yeah.
It pops up. Oh, this is Bitstamp. This is Kraken, this is Bitrue, whatever it is. They know the addresses, so they actually confirm it for you there. And we'll have similar types of intelligence, and we'll go, we don't recognize this address.
Okay.
As long as you recognize it, that's fine. But we're just saying, we know that one that you put in was Binance, but this address, we've got no idea who it is. So you just need to be absolutely certain it is who you think it is, and that you absolutely want to send your XRP to that place. And that's it, really.
I see it as an insurance policy. Keep your cryptos safe, even though you self-custody. Like you're saying, there's so many ways for hackers to get a hold of your stuff. Whether an email or a fake Brad Garlinghouse AI generated YouTube video that said, send me your XRP, I'll send you 10 times back. It's never going to happen. You're never going to get crypto for sending crypto.
In that scenario, right? I mean, that's a different type of attack, and we kind of protect against that almost in an indirect way. The protocol can't stop you from sending your money to a fake Brad Garlinghouse, but when you whitelist the account, we go, are you really sure?
Mm-hmm.
This is not like a free money giveaway, is it? Because we all know that they're not real, right? And at the end of the day, we'll do as much as is reasonably possible without annoying you, right, to protect you as best we can.
Hey,
but ultimately,
is XRP going to be the only token available at this point?
This is a good question, right? The answer is yes today, right? But we've already sort of like got a design pattern for how we could protect other assets like RLUSD or other tokens that you may hold. We took the decision to not protect those on day one, simply because the amount of additional changes to the ledger is different. It's not like the way in which we would protect it is actually a completely different mechanism of protection around trust lines. So rather than, we want to get this thing done and we want to get this thing live and protecting people as soon as possible. What we don't want to do is bloat the amendment such that it takes 6 months longer to get it all live. So what we're going to do is we decided to do a staged approach. So we're going to try and get the XRP coverage through. Once that's in, or at least once we've built it and it's going through that process of audit and review and all those types of things. And if there's enough significant feedback from the communities, although I really would love to have, my other assets protected, then we have the option then to essentially build on an additional amendment, make those changes, go through that dance of getting it live. And it'd be like any sort of like system that you would use. Like Netflix one day suddenly introduce a high definition stream. It just suddenly becomes available for you to use if you want. And it'd be that exact same thing when we finally get to that point where we can cover RLUSD, and essentially any issued asset would be on that list. It would just become available in the ledger, and as soon as it's available in the ledger, we would just make it supported, and you would be done. So it's one of those things we want this live as fast as possible, and so that means sometimes you have to just prioritize. And for me, prioritizing the XRP security is kind of like my priority, and then we'll get to that, and especially if we get lots of people using it, because that just absolutely demonstrates to the stakeholders that have to put this live that there's value in having this on the network. And I think that if we do that, then an amendment to protect other assets would go through even faster. So that's just my opinion, of course, but that's the reason we're not going to go with everything on day one, because we want to deliver as fast as possible.
Okay. Well, man, my hat's off to you. I'm excited for you. I'm excited for the XRP community and this amendment. And like I said, I'm leaving the link below. You can sign up, you can put your email in, whatever. Get excited, people. And you know, before we go, Chris, how do you feel about this little run we're having on XRP right now? I'm excited. I've been losing sleep for the past 2 weeks.
I'm not unhappy, put it like that.
Do you think we're in a full bull run right now, or do you think we're we're kind of idling right now, just waiting for it to happen?
No, I'm a developer, so I don't know anything about financial markets, but I have been in this space a long time now, and from where I sit, this doesn't feel like a bull run. It feels like a very bullish market. And I think all of the positive news from the US and many other things that have been happening recently have just fed into this feeling that, you know, the market is very bullish and there are big things to come. I certainly feel that. But in terms of a bull run, what I'm seeing, you know, doesn't feel like any bull run I've ever been through. And I've been through two of them now. One, the 2017 was mental. I mean, you know, people celebrating an 8% pump. It's not a bull run. That's a Tuesday morning. You know what I mean? When we went through the 2017 bull run, you know, if it went up 8% in like a day, you were disappointed. It was going up 20, 30, 40, 80% at a time. That's a bull run, right? And that goes for any asset, not just XRP. And so my view is that I've always long maintained XRP is just significantly undervalued. And it's undervalued. We all know why, with all the legal problems and stuff, and people have steered away from it. And people have held it, that were holding it in 2017, sold it because they took the view that nothing was going to happen with it till this legal stuff was out of the way. And they're coming back. And I think what's happening now is you're seeing almost like an equalization in the market, and XRP is going back to where it should have been all along. It was number 2, number 3 coin forever, and suddenly it's been down at the bottom of the top 10. It's not where XRP belongs, in my opinion. And I think all we're seeing now is the market is just re-leveling itself in light of the fact that people know what's coming. And I think XRP should be between $3 to $5 today. And I think that we will get to the point where it reaches that sort of level. And I think my gut feeling is that between now and the summer next year, my hope and my gut feeling is we're going to have the most monumental bull run anyone has ever seen. And that's based on many things, right? many views, but it just feels like the perfect storm. Like everything just sort of seems to be coming together all at the right time. And as long as nothing derails that, right? The number of new people that are going to come in to this space and the amount of capital that's going to come in, I just can't see the price going anywhere other than up over the long, medium term perspective. I mean, in the short run, if you're new and you decide to jump in and buy some and you wake up and it's gone down 20%, don't worry. That's totally normal. And in a bull run, that happens, right? You get massive pullbacks. But, you know, within 2-3 days, it's probably swung back round and gone up again. So that's just crypto, right? We all, if you've been in the space, we all know it's the wild
roller coaster, baby.
Yeah, but I just think if you're new, just know what you're getting into, and stop looking at your phone every 5 minutes, because you'll drive yourself insane. Set yourself a target. Know what you want to get out of it before you get in, and and don't be greedy, and just
enjoy the ride.
Enjoy the ride.
Enjoy the ride, baby.
I tell you what, one day you'll ring me and you go, "I think the bull run started," and I'll say, "I think it has," and then what? A few weeks later, you go, "The bull run's over." Because these things don't last forever, right? We're in a bull market. That's different to a bull run, and the prices are just slowly pegging up, and things are getting their own levels. And one day we're going to go through this major they call it the banana thing, right? The banana zone, and it's true. It'll just go like that, and at some point, it's going to go back the other direction. And we'll all, I know you and I will be there waiting for it to go back down to buy back in, right? And that's just the way.
Absolutely, man. I can't wait. I can't wait to come back to London as well. I've been there twice and I'm ready to come. I'm ready to come back to London where there's no time limitation, where I could spend a couple weeks, 3 weeks there, see more, and just take my time getting back home.
Well, next time you come back, right, you come into London, of course, but you can come to the Midlands where I live, which is a very different place, much more country, lots more green fields. We'll show you a different part of what England and the UK is like. And again, you got to get over to Ireland and get your Guinness.
Absolutely. It's in my, absolutely.
See what Scotland's all about, and Wales, and see the whole of the UK. It's an interesting place. Lots of different. I mean, London is not really representative of the UK. It's a very special kind of place. You go, 50, 100 miles outside of there, and it's like a completely different world in certain places of the country. So there's a lot to see and a lot of cool places to go. And hey, I still owe you that steak on my barbie.
Hey, come on your new porch.
You never know. Or I'm at least having a new barbecue. We'll see how high the price goes.
Come on, I'll bring some of those Texas spices with me and kick it up a notch. Well, Chris, I tell you what, it's been a pleasure. It's been fun. I'm going to leave all the socials below. Be sure to click on the links, check it out, sign up, because this amendment here, we need it to happen for the protection of all of our XRP and for future generations, because, a lot of this next bull run, I think, is going to affect future generations. It's going to be out of the universe, out of this world. I feel in my heart that it's going to happen. So
would you mind if I make the final plea?
Sure.
To your viewers that hopefully have got to the end of me rambling all for this, however long we've been. Look, I have said before, Dennis and I like to build cool stuff, and this is pretty cool, right? But the reality is, this is for everyone to use, and we want to make it accessible to everyone. But, and I will be very clear, we need support. And literally that support requires nothing more than an email address and a first name. And we're not going to spam you with loads of emails, and we're not going to give you email to anybody. We may send you a couple of emails over the next few months where we might just say, here's an update on what's been going on, or we would like your feedback on anything from the pricing structures through to user interface designs, or, would this be a cool feature? And I got this other amendment, right, that I put forward a few months ago to stop dusting attacks, right, which is also a really annoying thing. Well, people have been saying, well, can we roll that in to and have it all? And I'm like, well, yeah. So we might ask you that. Would that be a useful addition and stuff like that? So if you sign up, what you're doing is you're indicating that you like the idea, and that if we build it, that it's something that you might consider using, right? And don't be the person that watches this and think, oh, that's cool, but someone else will sign up, and they'll build it, someone else will sign up. If you don't sign up and we don't get significant numbers of people putting their name to this, we will not build this. We have to have significant numbers of people prepared to put their name to this, to say, yes, we're up for it. There's no commitment. You're not committing to use it in any way. It's a signal of intent that we should spend our time doing this so that it can go live and then people can get the benefit from it. So please go to the website, xrplfirewall.com. It's just an email address, and it's safe. I mean, I got to get the message out there. I mean, no one really knows me. I'm just a developer. Developers don't have high followers like you do. I'm just a guy on your screen, right? But it's safe. It's literally just an email address. Put it in, press join. You'll get an email from us, which will just welcome you. The other thing is that email will contain a referral code. And we're going to borrow from the whole, PayPal playbook, right? You'll get an email through, and if you send your referral code to your brother, your mother, your friend, your neighbor, and they also sign up for the waitlist, right? And assuming, of course, we get enough people and we build this thing, right? We will give you 1 month of our service for free for new person that signs up, because at the end of the day, we got to get massive volumes of numbers. And I don't mean hundreds or thousands, I mean tens of thousands. There are hundreds of thousands of people out there that own XRP, and every single person would benefit from this. We've got to get this outside of Twitter, outside of YouTube. The best way to do that is if I can get to one person that's watching today, and they've got like 10 co-workers that have all bought a little bit and got a little bit, but they don't really get involved in Twitter and they don't watch YouTube much. We've got to get the message to everyone, right? So you could get yourself a free year's worth of service just by getting a few people to put an email address in and give us that support that we need. And the only other thing is that because it was Black Friday yesterday, someone said, "Are you doing a Black Friday?" I'm like, well, but you know what? Everybody needs an incentive. So we have decided the first 2,000 people that are prepared to just sign up for the waiting list, we're going to give those 2,000 people also the first 2 months free of our service if they want to use it after. So yeah, you would be sign up 10 of your friends and you can have an entire year's worth of our service free.
Nice. Now, XRP community, come on, y'all need to step it up. You watch my videos, you see me on X, you see me on social. It's time to step it up and click on the link below and sign up. It's that easy. And I back Chris up 100% because you've always been there, and I back everything you do, and I appreciate everything you do, man. This is for the entire community.
Thank you.
So yeah, so be sure to check out all the socials below, read the page, check it out, click on the link, and let's just have a good time, man. And thanks again, Chris. I know you're busy. I see all those computers lined up behind you, just waiting to be clicked on. All that code.
That's my backup rig.
Oh, the backup.
The real one's in front of me where you can't see.
That's like Star Trek. You got Star Trek all through there.
I think I've got like about 200 inches of screen. It's almost got all the way around me.
Wow, good for you, man. Well, thanks again, brother. Let's get together soon. I can't wait to see the updates. Let's do like a Twitter Spaces here in the near future, and let's get the community involved like we are here. And I can't wait to see what's next.
Yeah. Brilliant. Thank you so much for having me on and letting me get the message out to the masses.
Thank you, man. Don't forget, my name is JamesRuleXRP. Chris Dangerfield, thank you very much. And guess what? I told you so.